Hello everyone, friends and followers and subscribers. Welcome to the Military and Monetary YouTube channel. And today's video where we will speak about East German papers. Not like that maybe, that sounded really boring. But in fact we're going to speak about an East German concept. And to illustrate that concept we're going to speak about the documents that you see here. And that concept, that legislation, is something that was unique for the East German state. And I am, of course, speaking about Republikflucht. So, let's start from the beginning. What is Republikflucht? Republikflucht was the everyday term used by the East German state and media to describe the illegal emigration from East Germany to West Germany, West Berlin and other non-Warsaw Pact countries. The Republikflucht was a common phenomenon already in the Soviet zone and was for obvious reasons considered a problem, both regarding lost manpower and competence, but also because it was considered to damage the credibility of the East German state and the loyalty of the population. Before the construction of the Berlin Wall in 1961, up to 300,000 people left every year, leading the East German leadership to tighten the emigration laws and stigmatize Republikflucht in an attempt to stop the emigration. Despite this, people continued to flee the country, and between 1984 and 1988, around 30,000 people left East Germany illegally every year. Fleeing to the west was illegal and covered by extensive laws. Border guards had orders to stop escape attempts and were allowed to use lethal force. Not only harsh punishments and social discrimination awaited whoever was arrested, but also family and friends had to suffer the consequences. And there we have the background on the concept of Republikflucht. Republikflucht itself was a crime in East Germany, and as I said, to illustrate this, I have two documents here that you can see in front of the camera. Not only do we have two different documents, we also have the two different sides of the story, so to speak. So let's start taking a look at them, and we'll start with the one on the left. Here we have a Festnahmeprotokoll wegen Verdachts der ungesetzlichen Grenzübertritts, Verstoßes gegen Grenzordnung. And this is basically an arrest document used by East German border troops and filled in whenever they caught someone trying to flee. And this is quite an extensive document. Not only do you fill in the personal details of the person in question, you also have a lot of other questions. And this is not only a rare document in itself, it also gives a really interesting insight in the work of the East German border troops. Let's take a closer look at the questions. So apart from personal details, we have the date and the time. We have the exact amount of meters that the state border was crossed, the way it was crossed, by foot, on road, on train. Every single border sign or signal system or something like that was passed by the person being arrested was mentioned here, to make sure that later in court the person in question would be unable saying something like, "Oh, I didn't know I was crossing the border." Let's turn it over. It gets even more interesting. Here we can see, was firearms used? In what psychic state was the person in question when captured? Under the influence of alcohol, yes or no? Was the person in question carrying any cash? And if so, in what currency? The way the arrested person behaved while being arrested was mentioned here. And if the person trying to escape mentioned anything about why, it was mentioned here. A very interesting document and a very interesting insight. from the perspective of the East German border guards. So let's move on to the next document. This document gives a much more personal touch to this topic. What we're seeing here is a legal document, a judgment from the district court in Weißwasser, where a person is being sentenced to 3 months in jail for, as we can see here, Beihilfe zur Republikflucht, meaning aiding someone to fleeing the Republic. The person in question was born in 1914, 46 years old at the time this was issued, most likely not among us anymore, but either way I censored the name. And one could say that the East German state paranoia gets a human face in this document. It has a really sad feel over it. It's quite a long document, I'm not gonna read everything. We have 5 or 6 pages describing the event in question, leading up to the arrest and sentence. But the short version is that a person being sentenced here has helped another family that fled to the west by storing some of their things and lending them a suitcase. It is mentioned in the document that the person being sentenced was unaware of that family's plans fleeing to the west, but that is considered to be a lie by the court. So, storing a few things for a few friends and lending them a suitcase ends up 3 months in jail. This sentence was issued in January 1961, and as we all know, in August 1961 the Berlin Wall is built. So this fleeing family is one of the many reasons the East German state simply decides to build a wall, and of course enforcing the rest of the border as well. A really sad story, leading to a lot of suffering. And there, my friends, we have it, the concept of the East German Republikflucht and the two different sides of the same coin. Thanks a lot everyone for watching, I really appreciate it. If you liked it, please consider subscribing to my channel, and of course leaving a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Instagram, and of course I have to mention I have a Patreon as well. All you need to find can be found in the description. Until next time, thanks a lot for watching, bye bye.